Okay, please join me in 合唱。ナモアミダ仏、ナモアミダ仏、ナモアミダ仏、ナモアミダ仏、ナモアミダ仏、ナマンダ、ナマンダ、ナマンダ、ナマンダ、ナマンダ。Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending this Sunday service today. So today also we are having the minds of ministers. So last three times, this is a number 4, the episode 4. Last 3 times, just myself and Miyaji Sensei, 2 of us having a minds of ministers discussion. But today we have a special guest. So Jim Sensei, thank you for attending us today. So can I ask you to introduce yourself?
Yes. I'm Reverend Jim Warrick of the White River Buddhist Temple in Auburn, Washington, and I'm pleased to be here today.
Thank you. Well, maybe people know about us, but Miyaji Sensei, can I ask you to introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Takashi Miyaji, and I'm the minister over at Tacoma Buddhist Temple in beautiful Tacoma, Washington.
Then my name is Reverend Katsuya Kusunoki. I'm a resident minister, Rinban of Seattle Betsin Buddhist Temple. So the minds of ministers, we, usually Sunday's Dharma message is just a one minister giving a Dharma talk to all the Sanghas. But this is a kind of just a different form. More than one ministers get together, then we discuss or exchange our ideas, understanding, appreciation of the Dharma. Then we share our appreciations. So this is the mind of ministers. And usually when we have a BCA National Council meeting or ministers meeting, after the meeting, we go to hospitality room, then with some wisdom drinks.
Yes.
So we are having this kind of conversation. So here at the Minds of Ministers, so I'd like to have that kind of open discussion. So today, I don't know how long, almost more than 1 month, we are staying at home. And well, first, Jim Sensei, how you are doing every day?
We've kind of been staying home since convention, actually, because my wife and I both got a bad cold or whatever.
That's right.
So we've been kind of staying home since then. For us, it's not a big difference. The biggest difference is not being able to go to temple, not being able to see the grandchildren and our children, being away from them. But we're coping with that because they come by and check on us and we chat, social distancing. With the Sangha, I've been calling folks on the phone and talking with them during the whole time, different people in the Sangha, checking on them. And I said, one time I said, a little bit selfish because I'm doing this for me as well because I miss you so much. But we're doing fine, and I hope everything's going well for both of you.
Yeah, great, thanks. Yeah, me too. I'm my situation. We have like a garden lot in the open plot of land right next to us. So we started doing some gardening there, and we've been trying to go on walks and stuff. So we're trying to, get some sunshine out there.
Yeah.
We've been kind of coping with the situation, right?
It is so, last couple of weeks, so nice day, blue sky, can have a sunshine, flowers are blooming. I have allergy, but it is so nice, but we cannot go out and enjoy the sunshine as much as we could.
Yeah. With the flowers, it's just amazing here in the Northwest. I'm originally from California, but the different kinds of flowers here in the Northwest are really beautiful. Like, for example, the ajisai, the hydrangea, is not. They won't grow in California, but they grow here in the Northwest. So it's really nice to see all those flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been noticing we go out for walks mostly every day, and the flowers have just exploded over the last couple of weeks. So beautiful.
It's great. Mm-hmm.
One thing I also really enjoy, because Serobetsin, in front of Serobetsin, there's a park.
Mm-hmm.
So those flowers are also blooming. Although, the human beings, so we are suffering from this situation. We are having a difficult situation, but those flowers are, blooming as usual.
Right.
Probably I really enjoy those flowers blooming than maybe previous years, probably, I think. Maybe last couple of years, maybe I didn't have much time or enough room in my mind to enjoy those flower blooming. But now, kind of, flowers are encouraging us.
That's true. Yeah.
I really appreciate
some energy from that.
Yeah.
That's true.
So, we are all having a difficult time, and we can only do the limited things. And our temple, all Tacoma, White River, Seattle, all temple also having a same situation. We have to cancel all the Sunday services, fundraisers, the temple events. We have to cancel everything, all the temple activities. Then one of them is, funeral service, the memorial service, and the pillow service. So we cannot officiate these services in person. Right. I heard some ministers are officiating these services using FaceTime or Zoom or just a telephone. But do you have any experience to officiating the service using these technologies? Yes.
No.
Yeah, for me, I had one Makuragyo service that I did, and I tried to do it through FaceTime. So I set up the onaijing and everything, but we ended up having it through a phone conversation, and I did the Makuragyo service. So I could only kind of imagine what the family is doing, sitting there and participating, or just try to guess. But what was really what was really nice was that when I was doing the Jusege, I could hear them chanting the Jusege, and it was very nice to hear that they recognize the chant, and then they're going along with it, and they had the reading material. I assume they had that with them, and they were just very appreciative of that very short service. So I was grateful that that I was able to be a part of that.
So that is a pillow service, correct?
Yes. Hi. Yeah. Pillow service.
How about family asked you to do any funeral service or memorial service using this?
So the funeral service has been postponed until another date, and
okay.
There was another memorial service that got postponed as well. So it's hard to and it's hard to kind of ask, do they want to do it through Zoom or FaceTime? It's a little bit kind of awkward, I think, for a lot of people who are not used to it. Yeah.
How about Jim Sensei, White River?
Well, I had 3 services scheduled in March. Since we suspended, I spoke to the families, and they preferred to wait. I offered to, this was before we went to the total lockdown or the stay in place. And I offered to go to the temple just for the family if they wished. But they decided to wait and postpone it. And also had a burial service, same story. They, a different family, but the same story. They decided to wait until, the stay at home is lifted. So as you indicated, Sensei, all of our services are on hold right now.
So Seattle Basin also, I canceled, we have to cancel maybe a couple memorial services. Then I got a phone call, some people, someone passed away, but I couldn't do anything. So I just started every Saturday. In Japanese, we say Godo Hoji. Godo Hoji, kind of joint memorial service. So sometimes the family member emailed me their loved one's name, deceased name. Then using the live streaming, I just officiate the service in the Hondo. And whoever wants to watch, participate the service using through the YouTube, they can participate. That's what I'm doing right now. So that's every Saturday I'm doing that.
You also do the Shotsuki Hoyo, right? Is that correct?
That's we don't have Shotsuki Hoyo.
Okay, okay.
You do.
That's what you've been doing. Yeah.
Takashi Sensei, you do Shotsuki Hoyo?
No, not yet. No. Have you? Okay.
We do a monthly service, and last board meeting, I spoke with the board members and asked that the months that we've missed, so far we've missed March, we've missed April, because we do ours on the first Sunday of the month, I should say. So when we get back to our regular services, we're going to hold a special service for all of those folks that we missed. If we read the names of the people who passed away during that month in the past. So we'll read all those names. We'll have a special service for them when we do resume. That's our plan at this time.
Yeah.
So today, I'd like to discuss about those, especially funeral service. In a Buddhist tradition, we have like a pillow service, then funeral service, then seventh day memorial services, then 49th day memorial service, 1 year memorial service, 3rd year memorial service. We have so many memorial services. But the number of those services, funeral service, memorial services, I think it is decreasing. Seattle Basin is decreasing. So like 2003, Seattle Basin had 40 funeral services a year, but now only 20, half, 50%. Then pillow service, also 2010, Seattle Basin had 15 pillow services, but now only 8, almost a half. Then the memorial service, the Hoji, like a 1 year memorial service, a 3rd year memorial service. 2004, Seattle Basin had 92 memorial services, Hoji services, but now we have only 20. So 1/4, 1/5, the number is getting lower, smaller and smaller. So today, I'd like to discuss the significance of, especially, I'd like to focus on funeral service today. So what is the meaning of the Jodo Shinshu Buddhist funeral service? Do you have any thoughts?
Jim Sensei, you have any?
Jim Sensei, do you have any?
The meaning of the Jodo Shinshu funeral service?
Yes.
Any funeral service, in my mind, is an opportunity to gather loved ones together so that they can, I guess, lean on each other during times of grief. That's the purpose, I think, of the funeral service, because a lot of times in Buddhism, I think people go back to ancient Buddhism where you're doing the service to help the deceased enter the Pure Land or the Nirvana or something, or heaven or somewhere. But the memorial service, in my mind, is for the living. It's for the people who are grieving, and the funeral service, rather. And the memorial service is the thing. It's to help them remember and to get through this grieving, this very painful time. It's very important. It's very important to do that. I know from personal experience, funerals for my loved ones have been very meaningful to me.
Yeah. Yeah, just to jump off of that, to go off of that as well, um, in being, having these funerals, that it's for the living, is that, it creates the opportunity to, for lack of a better word, but it creates that chance for the family members to be able to encounter the Buddha Dharma and the teaching of Amida Buddha's compassion. And so I think there's still like a lot of misunderstanding, that a lot of people think that we chant the sutras in order to make sure that they go to the Pure Land, or they make sure that good things happen to them and that they're taken care of and they don't fall into hell or some other realm. But that's not the case. It's in order to create that opportunity for the family members to be able to listen and receive the Buddha Dharma, and together with other loved ones as well, just as you mentioned. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So my understanding, appreciation of Buddha Dharma is, I sometimes, when we have a visitor to come to the temple, so the person who has no idea of Buddhism, I'm telling these people the Buddhism is a teaching of life, teaching of our human life. So that's a Buddhism.
Yeah.
So when we are learning Buddhism, listening to the Buddha Dharma, it means we are learning who I am, to understand what kind of life I am living right now. Then, Shakyamuni Buddha's the four gates, the first, yes, the first gate, なんだったっけ?
Yeah.
Life is suffering.
Sorry, old age is sickness and death.
Old age, sickness, the funeral, then the person who is practicing,
right.
the person is really calm down. So Buddhism itself is the path or guidance to liberate from this cycle of these four sufferings. So then Shinran Shonin is also saying Shoji izubeki michi. So the Jodo Shinshu, our founder Shinran Shonin, also seeking the path to, what is the English translation? Shoji izubeki michi.
Shoji is life and death. Izubeki is
liberate, freed from.
Free from the bondage of life and death.
Cycle of life and death.
Yeah, so the teaching, Buddhism is that kind of teaching. So that's why, the funeral service, we are encountering the death. We are encountering the separating, parting from someone we love.
Yeah.
So this is a really fundamental question of Buddhism. So funeral service or pillow service too is a precious opportunity for all of us to think about that kind of question and listen to the Dharma.
Yeah.
That's my view, my appreciation of funeral service.
One of the things that I hear often is, let's celebrate that person's life, or they say like, this person would have wanted us to, have a six-pack and look at the sunset and enjoy this person's life. We should have a party for him, not a funeral. We shouldn't be, down in the dumps. But I really hate that. I hate that sentiment. I think that there's a time and a place. I understand that sentiment, but when someone dies, you're sad. There's a mourning process. You have to address that. You can't neglect it or suppress it or turn away from it. You have to accept that this person has passed away. So it's okay to cry. It's okay to mourn this person's death. I think it's important that we do that. And to go off of what you say, it's in understanding and accepting life, you have to be able to accept death. And I think that Buddhism is a teaching that helps us to accept life by accepting death, and that we cannot turn just to one side and then cut the other half, loose and act like it doesn't exist, because it does exist. And so I think it's something very important that we need to understand. Mhm.
Jun-sensei.
Yeah, I think when you're talking about let's have a party and celebrate this person's life, I think someone who might say that maybe that may be a way of grieving for them at the moment.
Yeah.
And this grieving process goes throughout. And I think Buddhism recognized that early on by suggesting we hold these this funeral service, these memorial services, and things that we do to help us through this grieving process.
Mm-hmm.
People grieve differently. Some, very sad. Some get angry. Some go through the process of saying, "Oh, I wish I'd done this. I wish I'd done that." Regrets.
Right.
So each person does grieve separately, and I think our services offer a way of explanation of how we can, get through this grieving process. And like Kusunoki Sensei said, nowadays it seems like there's a lot of non-Buddhists that attend the memorial services and funerals especially. And so it behooves us to explain a little bit about our tradition and how we look at life and death, as Kusunoki Sensei was doing. I think I've had some people of Christian faith that comes in and comes to memorial services, and they've found a lot of solace in the Buddhist teachings at that moment.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Understanding more about the Dharma.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah.
And
One teaching is, of course, life is impermanence, constantly changing. But sometimes we don't think about that. But when we encounter someone's death or parting from a friend, a family member, we truly think about, oh, my life is also constantly changing.
Yeah.
Our life doesn't last forever. So I am also living the same life as the person who passed away.
Yeah.
So that's also think about then the appreciation coming in our mind. Because our life ends, we should appreciate this moment, what we are living right now. So sometimes, some parents try to avoid their children to, they can wait outside. They don't have to attend the service. Or when we do that, they are missing the precious opportunity to learn what our life is. So although, those children may not understand what's happening, but still I feel even the child should attend the funeral service.
One thing I've experienced is when I was in Japan, I went to a funeral service, and then they placed Buddhist robes. It's called the Shichijogesa on top of the casket. And so, can you explain a little bit about what that is?
So I think this is, I don't know anything about other sects of Buddhism, but in a Jodo Shinshu Buddhist tradition, especially in Japan, even still, they have a funeral service with casket. Then when we have a funeral service, the casket is covered by those Shichijogesa. That's a really huge okesa. So this is our okesa right now, small one, but we use a Shichijogesa to cover the casket. So Shichijogesa is our formal attire, most respectful attire as a Buddhist minister to wear that. So when I officiate like a honko service, so people, ministers, officiating minister wear Shichijogesa. So because our loved one who passed away is going to be born in the Pure Land and becoming a Buddha. So, you know, because this person is going to become a Buddha, we show our deepest appreciation, deepest respect to send her off.
Yeah.
So that's a meaning of, you know, using the Shichijogesa for the funeral service.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the same for the Buddhist robes. You're talking about the Buddhist robes that the priests wear when they officiate as well, right?
Yes, 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 yes. Then normally the officiating minister, the funeral service officiating minister also wearing same attire, Shichijogesa.
All right, right. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard because I don't think we really get an opportunity to, I don't think a lot of the temples have a Shichijogesa. And so, yeah, it's, when I saw that in Japan, I was kind of, I wasn't used to seeing something like that either. Yeah.
But Shichijogesa is so expensive.
Yeah.
So we don't cremate the Shichijogesa.
Yeah, yeah.
Before the cremation, we take this back.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing I say sometimes at the funeral is that you know, this has created this person who has passed away has created an opportunity for us to encounter the Buddha Dharma, and this is the first the Dharma message that this person is giving to us as a person who in the Pure Land. And so that's how I kind of explain it, and people have appreciated that when I said that before. Yeah,
I've attempted to explain it that way too, and giving the mourners comfort that this person at the moment of death or shortly thereafter goes straight to the Pure Land.
Yeah.
It comes back to us today at the service. And teaches us about impermanence and all these Buddhist things. It's a good opportunity to hear the Dharma, because people who are grieving and everything is pretty intense at that time. Very, very intense. So it's a good opportunity to hear the Buddha Dharma.
Yeah. Oh, that's really nice.
One author, do you know No Kanfu Nikki? The book, Japanese book, Okuribito.
Oh, yes.
Departures. The original book, the person who wrote the original book, No Kanfu Nikki, I read the article, his article once, and he was once saying there is, he using the expression, inochi no baton touch, is a kind of life's baton passing. You know, kind of Olympic baton, you know, they button passing. Then life's baton passing means the person who is dying, their life is baton passing to the next generations. Then the person who is dying also say, thank you.
I see.
Then person who is coming to
receive
also saying thank you. Kind of this is a exchanging their lives, exchanging their appreciations. But you know, some people, the people who are looking away from the person who is passing, people may miss the opportunity to life's button passing.
Yeah.
So that's Shimon Aoki. I don't know. This is a really Japanese, probably Japanese explanation.
I see.
I'm sorry.
Well, that's great.
I have to reread that article again. It is really important to exchange our appreciation, our honest feelings.
Yeah.
But if we miss that opportunity, there's no another chance,
Yeah, right.
right?
Right.
I hope you understand what I wanted to say.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's definitely clear. I got it.
I think I understand. Yes. You know, nowadays, well, before many years ago in Japan and the U.S. and I guess all over the world, when a person died, they usually died at home.
Yeah.
The family was involved in that. Family and friends was involved in that death, and they saw what you were talking about earlier, Kusunoki Sensei, about keeping the children away from a funeral or memorial service. They need to experience that. They need to be involved. They need to understand what life is all about. And even now, we miss out on a lot of that. You know, an older person goes away to the hospital, we never see them again.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what happens. The next thing we see is possibly an urn.
Mm-hmm.
So without that funeral, we're losing even more and more of that contact to real life, I think. And I think that's another reason why funerals, memorial services are extremely important in our lives, is to maintain that contact with each other, maintain that contact with reality.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
It is different situation, but now because of this difficult situation, although people want to visit their, you know, the family members or friends,
Mm-hmm.
they cannot visit them.
Mm-hmm.
So then the person are dying by themselves, by himself, by herself. That's also another really difficult situation.
Mm-hmm.
So then, as a Buddhist minister, we have to think what we can do. What we can do. So one thing I'm doing is this Saturdays weekly live streaming memorial service. At least if I can conduct the service weekly, whoever wants to attend the service, they can attend the service. That's why I started this service.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for attending. Thank you for participating in this Minds of Ministers today. And I think it was really nice exchange, conversation on those funeral service. So hopefully, yeah, we can get together again and we can do the Minds of Ministers again.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
To close this Minds of Ministers, please join me in Gassho. Put your hands together. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Namo. Namo. ありがとうございました。
Very
Thank
much.
you. So please stay safe and healthy. Thank you.
See you next time.
See you next time.